Hey everybody, welcome back to part 2 of Kerbal Space Program on the Let's Play Leek. I'm John as always. Now last time we did some quote-unquote space flight. It wasn't really space. It wasn't necessarily flight. We went up and we went down. Today we're going to continue going up and down where no Kerbal has gone before. We may break the atmosphere today. I'm going to have to see if we can get there or not. But you'll remember that we unlocked some science last time around. We got some fancy little things that we won't terribly use outside of the decoupler, which is great. But we're going to use some of these bigger rockets and see if we can maybe get a little bit further. So we're going to jump on in and get ourselves a rocket, and we're going to get ourselves a bigger rocket than we did before. So first thing first, of course, we need a command pod. We need some place for our astronaut to sit. And there is our command pod. We need, of course, a parachute. Never forget the parachute. This will be a permadeath. Not permadeath exactly, but this will be a no revert, no reload kind of series that I'm doing. If I forget to put a parachute on and the Kerbal, crashes into Earth and dies, it's going to happen. I'm not going to revert that flight or load a previous save. But we're going to do that, and we're going to use one of the parts that we just got, the one that I talked up yesterday, the stack decoupler. So this is going to go underneath the pod. Anything that goes underneath here, when we blow that stage, it will just shoot off. And that will make us, just plummet back to Earth as just the command pod, kind of what you see in, real-life rocket ships. But we're going to do that so that we can take some more stuff with us. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a couple of these fuel tanks. Now these are liquid fuel tanks. They don't have an engine attached. You need to attach an engine in order to use up the fuel in it. And we're going to use a couple of them. And we need an engine to actually do something with. So we're going to take this Reliant liquid fuel engine. Now as I talked about last time, with liquid fuel, we can actually throttle it. We can send more fuel or less fuel into the engine, meaning we can go faster, slower, stop using fuel, etc. And that's going to give us a whole lot more control over the rocket. But that's the first stage of our rocket. That looks like a pretty piddly rocket. We're going to make a two-stage rocket, though. So we're going to put on another of these stack decouplers. And you see it produces some fairings here. It encloses that engine so that it looks a bit more fancy, and a little bit more phallic, as rockets always tend to. And we were using these guys, these squat little boosters, the RT5 Flea. We're going to go up to the R10 Hammer, which is a little bit bigger. And you know what? I kind of want to get out of the atmosphere, or as high as we can, so we're actually going to go a little bit crazy with this one. Eventually, we're going to get stack decouplers that aren't stacks, actually. They're going to be vertical ones that can go on this engine, for example, and then shoot those rockets off to the side. And that's going to be really good. We don't have those yet, so we're just going to have to glue some engines onto the side of this rocket with these girders. So we're going to put some more of these fuel boosters. Not upside down, though. We need to switch those around. That would have been bad. Now, unfortunately, this little gear down here just turned red, and that's because with the landing pad as it is that we currently have, we can only launch 18 tons, and this is now 18.9 tons. So we can't do 4, unfortunately, but I bet we can do 3. So if we change the symmetry back to 3 times, we'll get 3 boosters on here, and we'll see what our weight is, and we'll put those right side up. 15.8, we're perfectly good. And we can even throw on some mystery goo. Let's throw on 2 mystery goos. And there we go. We're going to get some science, probably from a little bit further up, and then we're going to return to Kerbin. So we want to check our staging before anything. We need to make sure that this is all going to fire in the right order. So we've got those 3 and that one. Those 4 boosters firing in stage 4. Once stage 4 is done, we shoot off those boosters. And then we use our liquid engine, and then we shoot off the liquid engine, and we fall back to Kerbin. So that's going to be my rocket. We're going to see how that will do. I don't think that's going to break through the atmosphere. We'll get pretty darn high, though. We will get pretty darn high. But I think we're going to launch this. So here we are on the launch pad on our smoking hole in the ground, and we're going to launch this. Looks good to me. We've got Jebediah in here. We're going to explore the astronaut complex soon and hire some non-orange suit astronauts, but he's who we're going to use. So we're going to hit space, and this is going to go flying. Up it goes. It's going to break some speed records pretty darn quick. It's going to break some altitude records pretty darn quick as well. And hopefully it doesn't lean too much. It's leaning a little bit to the left at the moment. It's also spiraling ever so slightly. So that stage is done. So we're going to shoot those off, and there they go. And we're into this guy, so we need to throttle up. And I'm going to actually wait a little bit. Our speed's still going. I'm not going to let it get to 0, but I'm going to hit it now. And here we go, and we're tilting. Okay. Okay, let's stabilize here. We're doing okay. We're still going up. We're just doing some, spirals. We're just... All right. Okay, we're good. So we got some altitude records at least. We got pretty high. We're going to be going up for a little bit longer here. We're not going to start going down for a bit. We might break 13,500. So you can see there's an atmosphere gauge as well underneath here. We're actually about a third of the way out of the atmosphere. You can see the space center is way down there below. You can see the curvature of the planet. And I'm actually going to jump into the map, and you can kind of see where our path is if we zoom in. You can see we have definitely jumped up a ways, and we're going to land probably in the ocean. The Kerbal, I always want to say the Earth, is spinning slightly, so we may still end up on land. It depends on how long this descent takes. But we're going to fall back down. Yeah, it looks like we're actually going to end up a little bit west of the Space Center. So we're going to shoot off this rocket here. Away it goes. We are now just that, and we need to do some observing of mystery goo, of course. We are still flying at Kerbal, unfortunately. We've already done that, so we're not going to get too much science off of that. I should have done it earlier, but oh well, we'll get that science at some point. You can see that rocket is now, or that engine is now hurtling towards the planet. It will blow up at some point, but we won't because we have our parachute. And we're going to open that parachute right now. Up it goes, smashes the camera. Whoa, that would have been the engine exploding. Looks like that piece... Oh, never mind. I thought that piece had landed, but no. There we go. They have blown up pretty resoundingly. So we're going to sort of sit down pretty lightly a fair bit west in, I believe, the grasslands of Kerbal. There's different biomes around all the different planets and all the different moons, and you can get science for doing goo observations and EVAs and surface samples in all those different biomes. So we should get a little bit of extra science from here, I believe. We set down, we check out the goo, and we are in Kerbal's grassland, so we're going to get 3 science. I observe the goo, and it just simply says that I observed the goo. The goo must not have been doing anything very interestingly. We'll do a crew report as well. I don't know if we did one of these before, but you can right-click the command pod and actually do a report from your crew members. And they record an assessment of the situation from Kerbal's grasslands. We'll keep that data, and we will recover this vessel. So we've recovered the vessel. We got a whole bunch of science off of it. We got 6.3 science. We got some money back from the parts that were recovered, the parachute, the mystery goos, a bit of monopropellant that was left, and of course Jebediah Kerman came back. Now you can see there's some debris over here. Some debris landed and apparently didn't explode all the way. So we can actually fly it, although that would be pretty strange to fly. I assume this is probably girders and something. Or we can just recover it, and that will get us a little bit more money back. And it appears that there are several parts sitting over here, so we can recover all of those. So that wasn't a terribly, I don't want to say not successful, but it wasn't a super fulfilling mission. We didn't get a whole bunch of science or money. But we can upgrade our launch pad now. It costs $75,000. So currently we can do 18 tons of vessel. If we upgrade it, we can do 140 tons. And that sounds pretty good to me. That's going to get us some sizable rockets that might get us out of the atmosphere. So upgrade, and now you can see the launch pad looks a little bit nicer. It's not just that smoking hole in the ground. So we want to get some more money, get some more science, and the best way to do that, of course, is with contracts. We check the contracts, and unfortunately, we're still just looking at escaping the atmosphere and orbiting Kerbal. Now that we can do more robust rockets, though, I think we might try to escape the atmosphere. So we'll accept that contract, and we'll go build a rocket that is hopefully going to escape the atmosphere. We'll see if we can make it. So the first thing I want to do, of course, is definitely make that a series of 4 rockets underneath. So we're going to find the girders. There they are. We're going to do a symmetry of 4. Can we actually fit a symmetry of 5? Ooh, it looks like 5 would fit. Or no, sorry, not 5. You don't do symmetry with 5. You do symmetry with 6. So we could have 6 rockets on this. This feels a little bit greedy. This feels a little bit greedy, I will say. I worry that that might just spiral like crazy. Maybe it won't. Maybe it won't. We'll see, though, and I think I'm actually going to do something else. I'm going to pull off that stack decoupler, and I'm going to do another stage. I'm going to do a stage, and I'm going to throw on just a single booster on here. Throw that decoupler on the bottom, and there we go. We have this monstrosity of a rocket. So we're launching those 7 solid fuel boosters at once, throwing them away, launching the single fuel booster, throwing it away, liquid fuel booster, throwing it away, parachute. Maybe that will get us out of the atmosphere. Maybe. Let me just clear these contracts here. Or sorry, they weren't contracts, they were just our records that we had broken. But we're going to do this. We're going to try to get out of the atmosphere with this monstrosity of a rocket. I should actually also show you guys something else that I did. We have a new flag. We're not using the Blorbs flag anymore. We are using this flag, hidden by the mystery goo. Let's move the mystery goo. Yep, it's our logo. We have our own flag. Someday that flag will be on the moon, and Eve, and Duna, and several other planets, ideally. Let's glue the mystery goo back on there, and we're gonna launch this one. So here we are on our new fancy launch pad. We don't quite have those cool control towers that we will someday, but we've got a pad. It's not just a smoking hole in the ground. The smoking hole in the ground is now below the pad. But we're going to launch this, and we're going to hope. We're going to hope. So let's do it. And we're off, and there's a bit of turning happening with it. A little bit of turning, but otherwise looking pretty okay. We're going to ditch these the second they're done and start up that second booster. So they're done, throw it away, start up the next one, and we're tilting. I'm not sure why it keeps tilting like that so heavily. I don't think we're going to escape the atmosphere, I can tell you that much. But I am able to control this. I am actually using the keyboard right now to try to keep it going straight. I've got it mostly going straight up now, so we're going to launch the liquid fuel and see if we can maybe... Nope. See if we can keep it not dive bombing the planet. Straight up. There we go. Stay there. There we go. Alright. I don't know if we're going to escape the atmosphere. What we're looking at is this little gauge here, which is going up and up and up. And if we can get high enough, we will officially escape the atmosphere. We did hit a new altitude record, 19 kilometers up, or not 19 kilometers, 19,000 kilometers. But, or sorry, yeah, 19 kilometers. It wasn't 19,000, that would be pretty darn high. We're still going up, but I don't think we're going to officially do it, but we can get some goo observations at least, because I believe we're going to be... Yes, we are in Kerbin's upper atmosphere. The goo seems to be getting very cold now. We're going to keep that data. And unfortunately, we're going to start plummeting back pretty soon. So we'll get a crew report while we're up here. We assess the situation. And we are not quite going to escape the atmosphere, so we're going to have to use the science we've gotten at least to try to get some more parts that might get us out of the atmosphere officially. But we are going to start a very long plummet back. So let's throw away that engine and come back just as this pod. Now, something that we'll be using a whole lot, in addition to me simply just editing the video and editing out the boring parts, once these repetitive parts become boring, is we can actually speed time up. There's some arrows up here, and we can go twice as fast, 3 times as fast, 4 times as fast. You need to be a little bit careful with this if you're accelerating or if you're getting close to the planet, because it actually speeds physics up, and it can cause you to kind of smash into the planet if you're going too fast. But we're going to skip a whole bunch of this by just speeding up. So we're going 4 times as fast now. We're plummeting down a lot faster. Looks like we're going to end up little bit northwest of the runway, I think. And we're going to keep that speed back down to 1 times here. As I said, if you speed up too much, you will smash into the planet, even with a parachute. Those parts are smashing down. We're going to put our parachute out, and that's going to lightly place us down. I hope. Yes, there we go. All right, it didn't slow down quite as much as I thought it would as quickly, but we're going to sit down. I assume we've done goo slightly above the surface. Yeah, we'd only get 0.4, so I think we'll do this on the grasslands instead. We'll observe the goo, and we will get 3 science, because we are actually at KSC, the Kerbal Space Center, which is its own biome. And in fact, all the parts of the Space Center have their own biome as well, the runway, the launch pad, etc. So at some point when we're desperate for science, we'll go and get those. But we'll keep that data, and then we'll recover this vessel. So here we are. We got a whole bunch of science, 16.5 science. We got back some money, of course, and our crew, Jebediah, no experience, because he's just doing the same thing over and over. So we're going to go off to the Science Center, and we're going to see what we can research to see if we can get ourselves a little bit faster. And the way to do that, of course, is rocketry. These sort of upper-level science things are always rocket-focused, and more power is pretty awesome. So these, you can't really see them too well, but these are solid fuel boosters, like those little yellow ringed ones we were using. But these ones are gigantic. These ones are huge. We're going to get bigger ones eventually, but these ones are pretty big, and these will get us very likely out of the atmosphere. So I'm going to research them for sure. That leaves us with 19.6, which means we could get stability, which gets us some fancy little nose cones and wings, and the radial decoupler as well, which is like the stack decoupler, but shoots them out sideways, which is pretty darn useful. But since we're going to be leaving the atmosphere, I feel like we maybe need a heat shield. So we're going to research survivability, the art and science of landing and walking away from it. So we're going to research that. That's going to leave us with 4 science, and we're not quite going to be able to research anything else. But yeah, that's part 2 of Kerbal Space Program on the Let's Play Leek. We have not quite broken the atmosphere, though we got really darn close, and next time we will certainly break the atmosphere. After that comes orbiting the planet, visiting the moon, visiting Minimus, visiting other planets, putting probes into orbit, and getting all of the science. Hopefully you guys enjoyed these videos. I'm definitely enjoying making them. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, definitely let me know in the comments below. You should also like the videos if you like them with the little thumbs up icon, and you should also subscribe to my videos. The subscribe button is below each video, and there will be one in the outro of each video. That way you'll be up to date on each video as they get posted. I'm looking at making some other random little videos as well for other games, maybe quick reviews or showing off games that you may not be aware of, or just games that I enjoy. But if you have any suggestions for games to play or ideas, definitely let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you all next time.